Hi guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Mila and if you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. In this video I will share 17 tips and tricks for your next trip. So in this video I wanted to talk about some tips and tricks I have learned along the years when I have been traveling and also when I have been watching travel video makers here on YouTube. I have found out some really amazing tips and tricks that I want to share in this video. And also if you're interested in traveling and want to see more travel content from me, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another video with me. I am traveling to Turkey in the end of this month in May and I am very excited for it. I will make a lot of travel content from there and also I usually do a lot of videos from my other trips as well. So yeah, just make sure to subscribe if you're interested in traveling and that kind of stuff. But without further ado, let's just get straight into the 17 tips and tricks I have for you. So one tip I have learned from Christian, who is the vlogger behind Backpacking Bananas, the YouTube channel, is to use stars in Google Maps. So whenever I'm watching some nice travel videos, reading some travel vlogs, or just like searching travel content, maybe on Instagram or wherever, I like to save every nice spot and place in my Google Maps as stars. And this is a really good way to save interesting places that you might want to visit in your future travels. It doesn't need to be like a trip that you have coming up in the near future, but if you know that you might want to travel there sometime, then it's nice to have some places and like places to see and visit saved in your Google Maps. So if we go to my maps here in Google, if I just zoom out a bit, you can see that there are like stars everywhere on the map. This means that I have just starred them. So for example, if I would like to go to Italy, I have a few places that make it just easier to plan my route. I have, which is Portofino, Vernazza, Modena and Lake Como. So if I'm planning to go to Italy, I could take up my map and see which places I have saved at any time in my life and they are just here. For example, in Asia, I have a lot of places in India, in Sri Lanka, in Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, in the Philippines, and I also have some places in Central America. So these are just places that I have starred in my Google Maps while I have been watching and just consuming travel content, and I see a place that, or it could be like a city, it could be a beach, an island, even a restaurant or a nice cafe. Everything I want to visit is in here. So, and if you want to know how you can save a place, so let's say I just wanted to save Valencia here. It's, as I said, it could be a restaurant even, and then I just click it and you can see save. Of course you can save this as you like. I just like to star places in my Google Maps, so I just would click like that, and then when I zoom out you can see that it's a star there. So I think this is a good way to save nice places around the world for your next travels, to make it just easier to plan your route when you go. The next tip I want to share is to have a travel budget app. I personally like to use Tripcoin, which I have installed on my iPhone, but you can use whatever kind of method you like. It could even just be an Excel, but make sure to, you know, track what you spend each day so that you know that you're on track of your budget. And then it's also nice to look back on your trips, on your previous travels, and see how much you have spent in place X, for example. Tripcoin, the app that I use, is free and it works offline, so it's really easy to just go on and, you know, if you buy a soda in a small cafe, you can just put it in Tripcoin and it will just save it there, and it's then a good way to, you know, check your or track your spending on your trips. Another tip I want to share is that you can actually download Google Maps offline, or you could use an app like maps.me, which is great to check the map offline and just makes it easier to navigate in a new place. In Google Maps you can download a specific part of a country or a whole country or a city or anything like that, and you can just download it so it's available offline. So if you know that you're traveling somewhere where you don't have access to internet, it's just easy to, you know, navigate around. And I know a lot of people use maps.me, and that's another great app that you can have available offline on your travel. One app that I really enjoy using on my travels is the XE Currency app. It's free and it works also offline. XE Currency app is a great app to check the currency conversions when you're unsure of how much something costs, especially if you have just arrived in a place and it's a different currency to what you're used to. Then it's good to use this app so you can stay on top of what you're spending. Another thing that you can do with Google is to download the Google Translate app, and then you can download offline the languages that you need. So that way you have an offline translator in your pocket every time. My sixth tip is to travel light. Traveling light is something I always mention in my travel tips videos, because traveling light is just so much more convenient than traveling with a big heavy suitcase that you have to carry around everywhere. I haven't traveled with a checked-in luggage in years, and I probably never will again if I'm not like moving abroad or something. But if I'm just going traveling, I know fully well that I can travel with only a carry-on, and it makes it just so more convenient and easy to move around from one place to another. Traveling light and traveling carry-on only is more cheaper these days, because a lot of airlines do require you to pay an extra fee if you want to check in your luggage. So that's another reason why you should travel light. When you travel to a new country, it's always good to learn just a few basic phrases in the local language. I think this is just very useful and also shows the locals that you respect their culture and language, and that way they might respect you as a traveler more. So it's always good to learn phrases like thank you or help me. That would be a good one in some situations, but at least thank you, hi, goodbye, and those kind of. And I also found it very useful to know some basic phrases in Spanish when we were traveling around Mexico in some smaller places, because a lot of times they don't know English, and of course you can always get around just using like body language and hand signs and that kind of stuff. But it was just very easy to ask for prices and negotiate the prices with the taxi drivers and such when I knew numbers, when I knew some basic questions in Spanish. So yeah, anyway, just knowing like hi, thank you, welcome, help, goodbye, and so forth, it's very convenient and very useful. And with that said, it's also good to learn some basic things about the culture of the country that you're traveling to. We have a saying in Finnish that goes maassa maan tavalla, which basically just means to follow the customs in a country. I think there's an English version that is when in Rome, do as Romans do. In my opinion, it just means to respect the customs, the regulations, the culture in a country. And nowadays, since it's so easy to find information online, it's good to check up things like, is it okay to haggle, how much to tip, how to dress in some places, how to behave, and what things are considered like rude, because some things that you might find normal can be really rude and disrespectful in other cultures. So it's good to know those things before you go there, so you don't get off as a really lousy, rude tourist that doesn't know anything about some cultures. So when you go to a new country, it's also good to research the prices and just the level of what things cost in different areas, because it's always good to have some kind of idea what things cost. Of course, this also depends on the style you're traveling, like if you're a budget backpacker versus if you're a bougie luxury traveler, of course things are gonna cost different for you, but things like price for accommodation, transportation, like what are the like the normal taxi prices or bus price, what activities cost and what food costs, because that way you have some kind of idea what things cost, and also then you probably won't be ripped off as easily if like a local person tries to rip you off by offering you something in a price that's much higher than normally. So it's good to be aware of what prices generally cost. Tip number 10 is to bring 2 bank cards or like ATM cards, or what are there, like credit cards, debit cards, whatever card you use to get out money from an ATM. Bring another one just to have it in case something happens to the first card. And please don't store your like bank cards or ATM cards, whatever you want to call them, don't store them in the same place, because for example if you forget your bag somewhere or someone steals it, then you didn't just lose both cards, you still have a spare one to use for the rest of your trip. These kind of things are good to keep in mind so you are prepared. You know, if something really shitty happens, then your trip isn't ruined because of that. Another thing I would consider doing is to get a worldwide adapter or a worldwide plug. So whenever you go to a new country, the plug might be different. So then it's good to have like one worldwide plug. So this is my worldwide plug. As you can see, it just has the European plug here, but then it has these buttons or these things, so you can get off, like you can convert it to different kind of plugs depending on where you are at the moment. So very easy, and that way you don't have to carry around multiple plugs if you're traveling to multiple of different destinations. When you're traveling, don't take yourself or things too seriously, and remember to laugh at yourself, because things don't always go as planned when you're traveling. So it's good to have an open mind and remember to have fun and laugh at yourself. Sometimes you do make mistakes and sometimes things don't go as planned at all. You might miss a train or a flight or something like that, so don't take it all too seriously. When you go traveling, bring your own water bottle. I think the best option would be to bring like one of those water bottle with a filter built in it. That way you could just fill it up wherever you are. I don't have one of those, I just have a regular water bottle, but still, if you bring it to the airport, you can just fill it up after security. Just make sure that when you go to the airport security that it's empty, so that way when you go through you can just fill it up at some spot at the airport, because they usually have some water, like drinking water spots where you can fill up your water bottle. Usually hotels, hostels and other accommodation has some water source for you, so you can fill up your water bottle. But if they don't, you can just purchase one of those really big like 10-liter water bottles and fill up your smaller personal water bottle as you go for the day. That way you can really decrease the use of those plastic water bottles, which just are very wasteful and are really littering. So yeah, bring your own water bottle. When you're in a new destination, make sure to go on a free walking tour. These are a great way to see a new place and learn new things about the culture and about the city that you're in. But remember that even though these are free walking tours, you should still remember to always tip your tour guide. It's just a good rule to tip something when you're on these free walking tours. And these are usually widely available in multiple different destinations. Bring an extra camera battery if you have a camera, or a power bank if you're just taking photos with your phone. When you're taking photos or videos the whole day, you will most likely run out of battery at some point, and that sucks. So please do keep an extra battery on you, or a power bank that you can use to charge your phone, so that you don't run out of your battery. So I'm using the Canon EOS M50, which I'm shooting on right now as well, and I know that the battery on this camera is not great at all, so I always have 2 batteries with me, one in my camera and another battery that I always remember to charge up, so it's fully charged when I need to use it. Whenever you're traveling somewhere, remember to check the entry requirements. Do you need a visa? Do you need to fill out some forms before you enter the country? And especially now during COVID, you need to check what the specific COVID entry requirements are in each country. For example, many countries still require to be fully vaccinated or that you have already had COVID. So, check those before you travel somewhere so you don't get disappointed that you can't enter the flight when you don't have the required documents, or that you already in the country and can't enter the immigration because you don't have the visa or whatever you need. So just check the entry requirements wherever you're traveling. When you're traveling, make sure to download some offline podcasts, music, or series or movies on Netflix, for example. This way, when you have a long haul flight, or when you're spending hours on some other mode of transportation, you have a way to kill time when you have any interesting podcasts, a good playlist or series that you can binge watch. It just makes it more enjoyable, and that's my tip. And a bonus tip is to have a pair of good noise cancelling headphones. I will never travel anywhere without a good pair of noise cancelling headphones. They're just a lifesaver whenever I'm on a noisy airplane or like a bus or something, and I just want some peace and my own time, and I want to actually listen to some podcasts or audiobooks or watch some series. So that's a bonus tip for you. And that's all of the 17 and a bonus tip that I wanted to give you in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, make sure to subscribe to my channel to see more travel videos from me, and make sure to also watch this video next if you're interested in seeing more tips on traveling, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!